Welcome to this episode of Everything Explained. Today, we're diving into the life of one of history's most fascinating figures, Julius Caesar. His story is one filled with ambition, power struggles, and ultimately, betrayal. So, who is Julius Caesar, and why does he continue to captivate our imaginations even centuries later? Julius Caesar was born on July 12, 100 BC, into a patrician family in Rome. Now, if you think of Rome at that time, picture a bustling city that was the heart of the Roman Republic, a complex political system with elected officials and a senate. The Republic was quite different from the later Roman Empire, which was ruled by emperors. As a young man, Caesar was well educated, learning subjects like rhetoric and philosophy. He also had some military training, which would become crucial later in his life. Early on, Caesar's political career took off. He climbed the ranks of Roman politics, holding various positions, including that of a quaestor, which is similar to a financial officer. But what really set him apart was his ability to build alliances and make powerful friends. One major alliance he formed was with Pompey and Crassus, two other prominent figures of the time. Together, they made what was known as the First Triumvirate, a three-man rule that allowed them to dominate Roman politics. However, power struggles were inevitable. In a world where loyalty could shift like sand, tensions grew between these allies. Eventually, after Crassus died in battle, the relationship between Caesar and Pompey soured. Pompey, who was once a friend, became a rival. This rivalry escalated until it led to a civil war in 49 BC. When Caesar crossed the Rubicon River with his army, he famously declared, "The die is cast." This phrase symbolizes a point of no return, and it was a bold move that defied the Senate's authority. It marked the beginning of a conflict that would change the course of Roman history. With his military prowess and strategic genius, Caesar defeated Pompey's forces, which ultimately led to Pompey's death. This victory solidified Caesar's power, but it also stirred unrest among those who feared his growing influence. Once in control, Caesar implemented a series of reforms. He took measures to address the economic struggles faced by ordinary Romans. For example, he initiated land reforms, redistributing public land to veterans and the poor. Additionally, he restructured the calendar, creating the Julian calendar, which is the basis for the calendar we use today. These reforms earned him popularity among the masses, but they also deepened the resentment of the Senate, who viewed him as a dictator rather than a leader. Now, let's talk about the title of dictator. In ancient Rome, this title didn't have the same connotations it does today. A dictator was a temporary position granted during times of crisis, meant to provide strong leadership. However, Caesar declared himself dictator perpetuo, or dictator for life, in 44 BC. This was a significant turning point. It essentially meant he was consolidating power in a way that was unprecedented in the Roman Republic. His rise to power led to growing concern among senators who feared he would dismantle the Republic entirely. On the Ides of March 15, 44 BC, this fear culminated in a plot to assassinate him. A group of senators, including some of his former allies, conspired to kill him. They believed that by removing Caesar, they could restore the power of the Senate and the traditional republican government. Tragically, this plot succeeded. Caesar was stabbed 23 times in the Senate chamber by his assassins, including Brutus, a man he considered a friend. The assassination of Julius Caesar had a profound impact on Rome. Instead of restoring the Republic, it plunged the city into further chaos and civil wars. Caesar's death ultimately paved the way for the rise of his grandnephew and adopted son, Octavian, who later became Augustus, the first Roman emperor. This marked the end of the Roman Republic and the beginning of the Roman Empire. So, why does Julius Caesar matter today? His life and death serve as a powerful reminder of the complexities of power, loyalty, and betrayal. His story is not just about one man. It reflects the struggles of a society grappling with change. Caesar's ambition and his tragic end continue to resonate in literature, art, and politics, leading us to ask questions about governance, power, and the nature of leadership. In conclusion, Julius Caesar was a multifaceted figure who left an indelible mark on history. He was a military genius, a skilled politician, and a controversial leader whose life was filled with dramatic twists and turns. His legacy is a testament to the fact that power can elevate individuals to great heights, but it can also lead to their downfall. As we reflect on his story, we are reminded that history is not just a series of dates and events, It's a narrative of human ambition, conflict, and the quest for power. Thank you for joining us today on Everything Explained. We hope you gained some insight into the life of Julius Caesar and the enduring lessons his story offers us.